always steep here. This is real steep going down this way. And so if you follow this trail up, you come to the top of Jack Mountain there. We call this Hanging Rock Ridge because further up there's a rock formation and a big rock looks like it's going to fall at any moment. But it'll probably be there for centuries. Unless they start blasting for the pipeline, who knows? But the property is a series of ridges and hollows. And one property line is just right down the bottom of this hollow, but then it goes for about 2,000 feet this way and probably 2,000 feet that way as well. Although there's less invasive species up there.
Also, that's one I see a wood lighting with starfish.
Yeah, I think you're right. Maybe that's because the sun is on the other side, but yeah, I agree. Yeah, the trunks definitely look lighter there. But here's a big shagbark hickory right here. Now the base doesn't look that impressive, but way up there it's still really thick.
Yeah.
And some big sugar maples up in here especially.
And how high up is it gonna get? Did you say?
Well, the house is about 3,000. We're probably at 32, right about here. And the top of the mountain is at 3640. And our property goes within about 100 feet of the top. And then somebody else owns a little strip up at the top. So first they'd have to take all those trees, and the small trees too, and then they say they'd have to flatten the ridge 125 feet wide to make safe working area. So we think they'd have to excavate or blast 20 feet here to.
They probably would, because that tree right there is close to where the edge would be, probably a little bit this side of it.
And here it just drops off like crazy.
Yeah.
This is a 78% slope. We've measured all these slopes here.
So
Oh my gosh, that is really
destruction
steep.
of the land is just to make it easier for the workers.
Safer for the workers. And I agree with worker safety. But after they flatten it off, and that would mean, we think, about 20 feet down here, then they'd have to go an additional 10 feet to dig the trench for the pipe.
Right.
So we're thinking 30 feet. And we're thinking most of that would have to be blasted because we believe there's bedrock under the ground here.
I'm sure there is. That's how these ridges were created.
Yeah, yep. Now some of it, and we'll get a little idea of it looking further at some trees that have gone down, and you can see the underside exposed. It looks shaly to us, but we're not sure what's further under the ground. Right. So the pipeline company says that they're gonna, when they level this off, they're gonna take all the excess material and put it over there and control it with a compost filter sock, which is just a little piece of rolled up material that they put on the ground.
They're very familiar with it. Whoa!
No way that's gonna work.
Is it rotten? Yeah, watch it, bud.
Let me ask you this, Bill. I meant to ask somebody else, and I don't know what the code is on those big pipes. How deep does the top of the pipe have to be in the ground?
I'm not
Once they
exactly
cover
sure,
it?
but it's like at least 4 feet. I
That's
think.
what I thought.
Yeah.
I was just curious.
Crossed my mind that a
I know
really
like electricity is 3 feet, but I couldn't remember on gas. I thought it was 4.
with a real intense forest fire. I wonder if that would heat the pipe up.
Yeah.
The pipe's already heated.
It would, because if you've ever seen that, it'll be burning that far underground. Just there will actually be smoldering ash and fire.
I haven't seen any analysis of that at all, but it sounds like that's a hazard,
Of course.
potential hazard. And we're really fire prone here, you know. Top of the valley, just a fire would come right up through the valley here.
Yeah.
So this stream on this side also sinks into the ground. And we had a hydrogeologist, Pam Dodds, from up north of Elkins, come down and do a test on the bedrock in the channel to see if it was limestone, and it is. And it's just basically 10% hydrochloric acid, drip it on the rock. If it fizzes, it's limestone.
You know it's limestone.
So that's an easy, I could have done that myself.
Well, now you know.
Yeah. Letter says, can we survey? And if you don't respond or you say no, then they send another letter saying, this gives us the right to survey, so we're gonna come onto your property. But anyhow, we went through that, and that's another long story. But they were supposed to come through in last May of 2017 to do what they call a Geo Hazard Survey because of the real steep slopes here and the chance of landslides. And they had additionally done a desktop survey where they're looking at computers, Google Earth, I'm sure, and they figured out this is really steep here. So in their phase 1 desktop survey, they said, we need to do a phase 2 on-site survey. So that's what they were planning to do in May of 2017. So we got out, we were ready to meet them, we met them, and they said, oh, our Geo Hazard surveyors can't come. We've got a karst surveyor and some bat surveyors here today. And we said, well, we want to, when are they gonna come back? Are we gonna have to arrange to meet them as well? And they said, well, they'll come back in a couple of weeks and they'll let you know. So anyhow, a couple of weeks went by, and we contacted them and said, when are they coming? And then we were hearing, well, they've decided not to come. And we said, well, we think they should come because it's so steep here, and your phase 1 study said you need to do a site inspection in person. And they said, we don't think we need to do that. And we said, we demand that you have your experts come out here because we're afraid these slopes are going to start sliding on our property because it's so steep. And they didn't respond, and we wrote them a couple of letters to that effect and a number of emails. And at one point they said, well, we might be doing that, we'll contact you. They never did it. They never came out. And then we looked in their filings with the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission for phase 2 Geo Hazard Survey for the Limpert property. It said the Limperts would not allow us on the property.
Wow.
You bet, you bet. And we put up with that kind of stuff from them from day 1.
Wow.
And we're vigorously disputing that with them, but
Well,
I
you
don't know if
know,
that's gonna
they
make any
probably
difference.
realized that if they actually legitimately came out and they know that probably they could guess the result, that would counter what they want to do.
they
So
could
they
say,
don't
"Well,
want to
probably
have
we
that
didn't
on
let us."
on
That's
record
why
to
there's a
say
problem.
that they themselves admit that they really shouldn't be putting a pipeline in this type of terrain.
Yeah.
Right.
So it actually is more convenient for them to not have that, verification.
And every
Right?
every survey costs money.
Yeah.
They're so
Yeah,
big. They feel they're wrong about this. They feel
Yeah.
that, well, there's just a few hundred landowners. We're bigger than them. We're more powerful. Our word against theirs.
Oh yeah.
We surveyed on this date. They can't prove that we didn't. There's all sorts of things that they build into the equation of forcing a pipeline through land.
So we've
And
got
they know what they're doing,
documentation
you know?
demanding.
Oh, we're coming up to Ona, the 300-some-year-old maple tree. Here she is.
Oh, wow.
We are here.
Really? Really? I mean, I'm good at climbing trees, but I can't climb this one. I've climbed the trees I've climbed. I've climbed all the way to the top, but I still think if I climb this one, I wouldn't be able to reach the top.
It's probably 100 feet up, but the base is 15 feet around circumference on this.
I bet like a lot of ants are living in there.
Who
I bet a
knows?
lot of animals are living in there.
It could be.
Because usually ants or termites just burrow into trees. I bet some are living in here. You gotta have like a lot
So,
of
Bill, how old is it? Over 300? What's the age
The
exactly?
forester estimated this at 260
Okay, 260.
because it's lower on the mountain. It doesn't have a lot of competition.
Mm-hmm.
The soil's better. It's more moist down here.
Ah, okay.
So he doesn't know for sure, but that's what his estimate was.
Okay.
And you named it?
Oh,
Yeah, Lynn named it Ona.
You guys want to hug Ona?
And Sam will take your photo. We don't want to delay too long with that thunder. and lightning
Thunder.
now.
You want to give her a hug?
That's not even.
Come on, be the tree hugger. Embrace it. Own it.
Yeah, I'm gonna just look so
Own it.
It just looks weird. Not weird.
You feel weird hugging a tree?